world continues to reel under novel coronavirus as Spain registered its worst figures so far with 394 deaths, making Spain the fourth worst hit nation by corona pandemic. The effect of the COVID-19 has also been seen in the sporting world as the officials have revealed that they are considering a postponement of the Tokyo Olympics after mounting pressure on the host nation, Japan. Good morning, I'm Amit Bagril and these are the top stories this hour. Government decides to close all border transits with India and China for a week amid other precautionary measures against the possible outbreak of coronavirus in the country. Implementation of the government's directive to shut down all public activities and services remains ineffective. Long-distance transportation suspended from midnight yesterday. Germany expands curbs on social interactions and is bid to contain the coronavirus outbreak, banning public gatherings of more than 2 people. Chancellor Merkel puts herself in self-quarantine. And pressure mounts in Japan to postpone the upcoming Tokyo Olympics. Arrangements underway to resume English Premier League from 1st of June. The government has decided to close all border transits with India and China from 10 a.m. today for a week. A meeting of the cabinet held at the Prime Minister's official residence in Balwatar yesterday took the decision. The meeting has also decided to establish a central fund of 500 million rupees in view of the risk of novel coronavirus outbreak in the country. The fund will be used for buying personal health security tools for doctors, along with medical equipment such as ventilators and medicines, among others. The cabinet meeting has also decided to contribute a month's salary of all the ministers to the central fund. The restriction in the operation of all services apart from emergency and essential activities has come into effect from yesterday amid fear of the coronavirus outbreak. The government has shut down services of all public, community and private offices except those providing emergency services at the central, provincial and local levels till 3rd of April. As per the Nepal Gazette, essential services include internal security service, transportation, supply of drinking water and petroleum products, hospitals, medicines, garbage collection, banking and insurance services, electricity and delivery of daily essentials, among others. The restriction has directly affected government offices, roads and markets. Vehicular movement has declined while main markets and shopping complexes have remained shut across the country. Civil servants have been reaching their respective offices, although services to the public have been halted. Likewise, the government has suspended all international flights for the next 10 days starting from midnight yesterday till 31st of March. There is a risk of being infected by coronavirus while traveling in any form. However, the government has put restrictions only on long-distance buses from yesterday, while short-distance bus travels and domestic flights have been allowed to operate. After the government announcement of restrictions on the operation of long-distance transportation, its impact was clearly seen at the new bus park and other transit points leaving the Kathmandu Valley. As the Motor Vehicles and Transport Management Act 1993 or travel longer than 250 kilometers is considered long distance. The government's restriction only on long-distance bus travels indicates that short-distance bus travels and domestic flights are safe. The government's decision to put restrictions on long-distance bus travels, taking into consideration the risk of coronavirus infection, is in favor of the countrymen. However, it is deemed necessary for the government to restrict short-distance bus travels and domestic flights as well if it seriously wants to contain the possible outbreak of COVID-19. Welcome back. After the break, Kantipur Media Group has established COVID-19 Prevention Fund with 1.5 million rupees of initial capital, aimed at helping in the containment of possible novel coronavirus outbreak in the country. Every sector and individual can contribute to the fund to confront the global coronavirus pandemic. Meanwhile, Kumari Bank, Siddhartha Bank and Nabil Bank have also collaborated with the fund by contributing 1.5 million rupees each. The amount in the fund will be used for buying essential personal security tools, medical equipment, sample testing kits and quarantine facilities, among others, by coordinating with the Corona Infection Prevention and Containment Fund established by the government. The global impact of the COVID-19 outbreak is likely to be seen in the country's economy, although there aren't any cases of the pandemic registered in the country as of yet. Every sector has come to a standstill, which is expected to affect the GDP of the country. However, the extension of the impact is still uncertain as new cases are being reported globally. The tourism sector in the country has seen hit the most by the threat of the novel coronavirus outbreak. The government has suspended all international flights from yesterday midnight. Hotels and restaurants have been shut, while 2 five-star hotels have already suspended their services from yesterday. Hotels and restaurants have 2% contribution to the GDP, which exceeds 346 billion rupees. Even the industrial sector, agriculture sector, construction and retail businesses have been affected by the global pandemic. This has affected the overall economic growth set by the government. The government had projected an ambitious economic growth of 8.5% for the current fiscal year. However, even the Asian Development Bank has projected that the global pandemic would negatively affect the economic growth. Meanwhile, credit flow and remittance have witnessed a significant decline. As new cases of COVID-19 have been increasing on a daily basis, the global economy and its impact on national economy is bound to be seen. The Ministry of Finance is monitoring the impact of the global pandemic on the economic system by forming a committee. Meanwhile, Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli has reiterated that the government will introduce appropriate measures to minimize the effect of coronavirus in the country's economy. The novel coronavirus outbreak has recently taken the form of a global pandemic. However, basic precautionary measures at an individual level can largely prevent its contraction or at least contain it from spreading. And in this context, we had asked the residents of Putwal in Rupandehi district what precautions have they been taking to prevent the contraction of COVID-19. Let's take a look at what they had to say.
Public voice.
भीडभाडमा हिँड्दा मास्कको प्रयोग गर्ने, सकेसम्म भीडभाडमा नजाने, घरमा बाहिरबाट घरमा आउँदा हात धुने, साबुन पानीले राम्रोसँग हात धुने, सफा गर्ने,
25 जना भन्दा बढी मान्छेहरुको भेला भएको ठाउँमा त्यहाँ नजाने, विशेष गरेर कहीं हामीले चाहिँ केही चीजहरु सोइसके पछाडी त्यसलाई चाहिँ साबुन पानीले हात चाहिँ मिची धुने।
अन्य दिनहरुमा भन्दा अहिले चाहिँ यो जुन महामारी रूपमा फैलिएको कोरोनालाई निषेध पार्नका लागि साबुन पानीले हात बेसी धोएको छु। त्यसैगरी चाहिँ आइसोलेसन घरमा स्वच्छ वातावरण सधैँ आफूले व्यवस्थापन त्यसैले गरेको छु।
बाहिर ननिस्किने, धेरै हिँडुल नगर्ने, इम्पोर्टेन्ट छ भने मात्रै निस्किने।
हातलाई मुखमा लादाखेरि त्यसबाट हुन्छ भन्ने छ र हामीले हात मुखमा लाल्नु भन्दा पहिला सकिन्छ भने साबुन पानीले अथवा भने राम्रोसँग कुनै पनि सेनिटाइजर प्रयोग गर्ने लगायतको खानेकुराहरू सकेसम्म माछा मासुहरू नखाने, खानै परेको अवस्थामा पनि माछा मासु राम्रोसँग पकाएर मात्र खाने।
It's time now for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
And the question is lockdown necessary to contain the possible outbreak of novel coronavirus? And options are A, yes, B, no, and C, not yet. The voting is on. Type in WS, select your option A, B, or C and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. Now the sports update.
Sports news.
After weeks of insisting the Tokyo Games would take place on schedule this summer, Olympic officials revealed Sunday that they are considering a postponement, which could mark the first step in ultimately delaying the world's largest sporting event because of the novel coronavirus. Facing mounting pressure and growing criticism, Thomas Bach, the president of the International Olympic Committee, wrote a letter to the Olympic athletes Sunday in which he said cancelling the Summer Games altogether is not an option and vowed that a final decision on postponement would be made within the next 4 weeks. Hours later, Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe told the parliamentary committee that postponing the Tokyo Games may become a consideration if the event cannot be staged in a complete manner, marking the first time Abe has publicly entertained the idea of a delay. It's time now for our special segment, Off the Beat.
In view of the situation created by the novel coronavirus, a global pandemic, the devotees have been barred from visiting the Manakamana temple in Gorkha. Following the announcement of the government urging general public not to hold a gathering exceeding 25 people, the temple management decided to bar the people from visiting the Manakamana temple from this Saturday. The temple management has said that only regular morning and evening prayers will be conducted until the next notice. Likewise, the operation of cable car has also been stalled from this Saturday until 12th of April. The Manakamana temple on weekends usually sees a throng of hundreds of devotees. Likewise, the Gorkha Museum in the district headquarters has been closed for at least 3 weeks. The excavation works in the copper mines in Baglung have been halted following escalating disputes between the local residents there and Chinese investigating company Zhongjing. The dispute intensified after the Chinese company started blasting in the close proximity of the human settlement. The local residents claim that there was initial agreement with a Chinese company of only using drilling machines for excavation works. However, the company has now been charged of blasting or detonating bombs, putting the nearby human settlement at serious risk. Local residents in Baglung's Tiang municipality are saying that the blasting has greatly affected their houses and that until their safety is ensured, they would not allow the resumption of excavation works. The Chinese company has been studying the prospects of copper availability in Baglung for the past 5 months. The investigating team is required to dig a tunnel up to 100 meters deep to find out the presence and quality of copper. However, with the protest by the locals, the digging works have been stalled. This is Bipashna Tamang for Off the Beat and Kantipur News Desk.
And that's all for this hour. Keep watching Kantipur Television SD for more news and entertainment. Have a good day.